Check 1 2.
1098-765-432.
Check 1 2.
It's a hard knock life.
Hi, I'm Paul Banks.
And I'm the RZA, aka Bobby Steelz.
And you're watching Hard Knock TV.
Bong bong.
CNN, this is ghetto editorial. See me like milk and Oreos. Dipped inside the audio, platinum plaques in my portfolio. My lines are fine as wine, they blow your mind like coca. You could do what you wanna do, whether group or solo. Boston cold with a bowl of chili. Summer cheesesteak on the roll in Philly. I'm a patriot, don't do a hatred. If you make that beef, I'll smack you silly.
During this project, the guitar as an instrument inspired you. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up not knowing what a guitar was, not liking the guitar, right? We grew up hip hop. Wu-Tang was, we was biased against anything, right?
It's crazy, like people now don't get that. Like growing up, it was like you're hip hop or you're rock, especially in like certain communities.
Yeah, it was.
People now are like, what?
People have T-shirts on them, rock sucks, disco sucks. Right. But anyway, when I did pick up a guitar, I wasn't accepted. It wasn't accepted in my circle of dudes, you know what I mean? And justifiably, you know, I understand why not. And you know, I think one of my crew members called me a hip hop hippie. You know, that kind of cut me right there, because you know, you know, my hip hop is, that's me, you know, basically. But anyway, working with Paul though, and having guitars, you know, being part of our music, and I didn't play guitar on this record, but having him playing it and having it be part of this creative process. You know what I mean? And I would go home after sessions, and you know, I'd go home after sessions and try to figure out more and keep it going. But he definitely inspired me to like, yo, look, man, it's an instrument. Keep playing. Don't stop it because it's not cool to your crew. You know what I mean? That's old school when somebody could be like, oh, look at him. He's doing his homework. Nah, man, keep doing what you do. And I'm gonna keep doing what I do. And I'm glad that, I mean, I'm comfortable, you know, that I could work with an artist, you know, who doesn't actually shun my other creative adventures. You know what I mean? Whether it's playing the piano, whether it's
singing,
getting the balls to sing, you know, which I haven't got yet, you know what I mean?
He's a great singer.
And shit, but those, you know, to be able to be with a musician that's like, yo, you know, that could help you, you know, music is about an expression of freedom. So even a rapper will hold back. Like I remember when, this is something I share with you, I remember when hip hop, nobody didn't, like I knew that it was time to yell. I knew it. When I did Wu-Tang Nothing to Fuck With, I was telling everybody, yo, man, fuck that. It's time to yell on these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, nah. But you know, some of the brothers took my advice. So when you hear U-Guard verse on chess boxing, that was, he did it, he didn't do it like that first. I was like, nah, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Yell that shit. He came in with that shit. And even Master Killer's verse, homicide, that shit sound terrifying. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, smoothness was still strong in hip hop. But I knew it was time to say, fuck that. You know what I mean? And so to be able to have a expressive freedom and to be in a group of people like that, you know what I mean? And to be in making music like that is so healthy for yourself. And I think it's healthy for the music that you're gonna end up creating.
Bass and Steelz in the building, flash the camera. I'ma drop the hammer. Things done changed the hip hop since and Bobby out the slammer. Hip hop start on the East Coast and then move west down to Bama. I'ma bring it back to New York, hold those blunts and throw your hands up.
This project's a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of pop, a little bit of indie. And I feel like the new generation is kind of going that way. Like I don't even know if in a few years some of these commercial stations are the hip hop station or the rock station. Like who listens to one genre anymore? Mm-hmm. Speak a little bit about putting out this project in the current landscape of what music is.
Hip hop has been such a giant force of influence for a while now that I think you got a lot of projects on the indie alt side of things that have been taking influence from hip hop for a long time. Then you also, now it's become so prevalent that you got like Taylor Swift with fucking Kendrick Lamar on like pop radio and shit. So, you know, it ain't news anymore to kind of bring these things together. I think it's just like, hopefully we're doing it with, you know, taste and class.
Yeah, and I also
it's
think
classy.
Little class, yeah.
Let's see help with that.
Bong bong. The cool thing about our record is that you have two dudes that, you know, that could independently do what they want and actually decided to come and share their experience, you know what I mean? So our collage, it probably is part of those, you know, you get markers in music, you know what I mean? And it maybe, you know, this album is one of those markers, you know, part of that moment of mark. I think I was talking to Snoop, and he pointed out to me, it was, you know, from him and then from Q-Tip, they pointed out how 93, you had Doggy Style, Into the Wu-Tang, and Midnight Marauders. I'm like, oh wow. You know, maybe Biggie came on the scene that, you know, as well. So sometimes, you know, you get this wave, you know what I mean, of things that marks what's ahead of what the culture is moving towards. I definitely agree that the listeners now have a broader variety of tastes, and I think that's helpful and healthy for music.
I'll stop at nothing, I will play this game that's so easily started, not so easily parted.
Yesterday, you guys were talking about a song that didn't make the album. You said it was Good Life? Or
Love Life.
Love Life. And you said that kind of summed a little bit the energy of the project.
It was an interesting moment for me working on that song with RZA because that was his lyrical idea. And I don't come from a place where lyrically I celebrate much. And so that was a very interesting kind of challenge for me to be like, oh, well, you know, RZA wants to have this song called like Love Life and be about loving life, and how difficult that was for me as a writer and as a person to figure out how do I enter into that concept, because, you know, that these are some of the ways that I think RZA's been a good influence on me, is to really be able to, like, you know, look at a subject like that or a theme like that and kind of explore thankfulness and, you know, celebration. But I mean, I particularly like that song because there's some pretty hot guitar licks on there. But that's a good one.
Any particular reason why it didn't make the album?
No, it wasn't finished though. It wasn't finished. It was just a good sketch. You know, I said it's kind of the vibe of the album. Yeah, when you think of a song like Giant, you know, and we're giving strength to the underdog. When you think of a song like Anna Electronics, you know what I mean, with, you know, the electronic beaters is driving and Love Is a House, you got the key, and either way the tide goes, you know, you could flow with it, you could deal with it, you could, you know, that could be applied to a relationship, it could be applied to your day, it could be applied to so many things. If you go into, I mean, all the songs, you know, even you know, One by One, which to me is a aggressive song. We're about to feel like we're about to go kill somebody in that song. You know what I mean? It's still like fulfilling your duty, you know. So I think that idea of that our album encompasses life. You know, there's romance in it, right? Heartbreak is in it. There's celebration in it. There's joy in it. There's questions in it. You might even find some answers in it. But I think overall, though, the record is a good time. And one girl I was hanging with last night, she said that you know, Hardly Phil was exactly what she was going through right now with a guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cool. So then that's what music should do. It should be relatable. You know, my man Nick Cave. You know Nick Cave.
It's funny, man. I was gonna, when we were talking about artists, I was gonna bring it up as a. Please.
No, let me pass the mic.
I was gonna say that we hadn't mentioned, but I got a kick out of the fact that among my favorite and most influential artists is Nick Cave as well. And then one day RZA came to the studio and he's like, have you heard of this guy Nick Cave? And this was around when Nick made his movie. And I wanted to bring it up as another example of the times where something from outside of hip hop speaks to RZA. It's pretty much always something that really speaks to me already. Because Nick Cave is, you know,
yeah, he's deep.
But what was it you were
Nick write songs, write movies, write poems, write books, right? But he said something profound to me. He said that life is a series of memories. And since it's that for him, he writes every day. Because it ain't just a series of memories that he's living. When he writes it, he leaves that memory for somebody else to enjoy. When he makes a song, he leaves that memory for somebody else to enjoy. So when you think of the first time you heard, whether it was a Wu-Tang, a Nas, or a Biggie, or California Love, and you remember you was at, you know, we will never physically see Pac again. I would never physically see ODB drinking 40s with him. I see him in my dreams, but when I hear Shimmy Shimmy Ya, you know what I mean, every time I hear that, I'm like, I'm right back to that memory. And that's the power of art. And the good songs do that. And I really, you know, what I like when people listen to my music, I like that the most out of all things, that they gave me some of their time. Because I put a lot of time in my spirit, you know, into it. And if they give me some of that time back by listening and their memories be infused with it, that's a great joy to me, yo.
And fracking soils, while bulldozing forests, but they can't defeat us, they could not destroy us.
Are we dreaming the same dream of money, guns, and gasoline?
And nicotine for the average teen, CFOs are after cream, GMOs extracting genes with everyone on my TV.
The connection of Nick Cave or some of the, what do you think it is? Is there a common thread that you think it is? Or just are kindred spirits and you kind of like gravitate in the same path, or what do you think it is?
Well, no, because if you ask me in my, I would say something more egotistical, kind of just like taste is taste. Like if you want to tell me there's some better lyricist out there than Leonard Cohen, I might humor you, but like privately I'm gonna be like, I'm right, they're wrong. So I just kind of, I see it as sort of real, the real recognize real and things like that.
Real recognize real.
But what was funny was when he came in that day to say like, have you heard of this guy Nick Cave? It was really interesting because I kind of felt like there is a parallel between RZA and Nick Cave, where I think Nick Cave within, you know, the world that I come from is a certain kind of renegade, pioneering, badass without peer, who's got the performance, the lyrics, everything. You know what I mean? I think within hip hop, that's a similar space that RZA occupies. So it was just kind of a cool thing to kind of be like, that's so cool that you didn't know who Nick Cave was, but you discovered him because he had this quote in a commercial for his movie that you responded to. Everybody from where I come from would have thought you would like Nick Cave because like it just seems evident that, I don't know, there's and grotesquerie and sort of explicit nature of lyrics as well. Like there's you know, there are other sides of a mirror somehow.
Yeah, that motherfucker's bad. Yo. If you don't know Nick Cave, check out. I think he has a documentary called 20,000 Days on Earth.
Do you know Nick Cave?
Music, I haven't seen the documentary.
He's
Yeah.
We're getting the show down. We're wrapping up.
Okay.